Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Today is vlog day. It's been a couple of weeks since I put a vlog up. Last one I did was the New Transformation Tuesday with my friend V. So if you haven't seen that, click back on the previous post and check that out. I'm doing stories of women that have changed their health and lost weight, but it's not all about changing the size and changing the number on the scale. There are a lot more factors that go into a transformation than just those before and after pictures where you see, everybody with their pants pulled out. So I'm showcasing that. Go check out my friend V, and also Melanie Knights was my first one. That'll be linked in the second New Transformation Tuesday. So check those out. But today, like most every other health and fitness professional out there, I'm going to be talking about an approach to the holidays. So before I kind of get into the nitty gritty of what I'm going to be doing over here on Head in the Game Fitness for the holidays, let me just give you a rundown of how I have approached holidays in the past. So, for years, I would say it was with reckless abandon, meaning I went into Thanksgiving with um, a mind of here's all this great food and I'm going to eat it and I don't really care and I deserve it and it's one day, so I'm going to have all the good things that I can have with no limits, no boundaries, no thought, no planning, none of that. And very often I was miserable after the fact, just so overfull. And that was kind of the start of the next, 5 to 6 weeks, all the way up until New Year's. So it was cookie baking and cookie exchanges. I love to bake. I did for years. I still do, although now I don't bake to the degree that I used to. But it was tons, like not just a few batches of cookies, it would be 12 batches because there were so many different kinds that I liked. And then that was what I shared with my neighbors and my family, which was great, except that so much of it was still at home and then I was eating it. And then there was the holiday celebrations, the holiday parties, all of the extra stuff that you see at the grocery store. The grocery store is really, really hard this time of year, and it used to be more so for me. They have all of the holidays displays on all the end caps, and you will see too that going through all the aisleways, they have all of the seasonal food out. So, of course, there's more cookies and candy, but there's also all the seasonal fare. So, like crackers that are in the shape of Christmas trees, or pretzels that are in the shape of candy canes, cheese that's cut in special shapes, cereals that are all holiday themed. So, everything adds to this want of festivity, and I did all of it. All of it, all of it, all of it. In fact, I remember one time in college. Of course, you have about 4 weeks off, at least that's how it is here in the States. And I ate and ate and ate and did nothing else. I didn't have a job, I think, over that Christmas break, or I didn't have to be scheduled to work. I don't exactly remember how, but I know I really didn't have a schedule, anything I had to keep. I was basically at home at Christmas celebrations, at my family, at my boyfriend's family, and all I did was eat. And I came back, I'm pretty sure 10 pounds, maybe 15 pounds heavier. So you can imagine how much I was eating in 4 weeks' time. And I was so embarrassed because my friends saw it. Friends that I hadn't seen over that month, they could see the difference, and I could see it in their face when they saw me. So yeah, there was never any health approach on my mind. It was, this is the season and I'm going to indulge in it to the greatest degree that I can. Then we move into 2010, which was, as many of you know who follow me, that was the start of big changes in my life as far as health goes. But then what happened to me then was I kind of swung all the way to the opposite direction. No baking, no buying of any holiday anything, no Christmas cocktails, no really enjoying the holidays, or at least any of the food or the drinks surrounding it. It was avoid was my big tactic at that time. So if I could get late to a gathering just before they ate and I could leave just after, then very often I wouldn't have to worry about the food. Or we would make excuses and we wouldn't go to the food gathering and I would come later, stuff like that. There was also this really big push with how I was exercising more, harder, harder, harder. If I get all these exercises in or all my workouts in, then I can eat. And then I got to make sure that I work out after and burn that stuff off. It was all just very controlled and rigid and scarcity too, really, is what it was. So along the lines of I want to get to how I want you to approach the holidays this year. Also, during the time that I was losing weight, the person that I went to boot camp with ran challenges, Santa Slimdown, I think it was called. And I always enrolled, but this is what happened to me. And then I also want to share with you what I noticed. So I would be all gung-ho for like the first probably week of the 3 to 4, maybe 2. And then I just kind of fell off. I didn't want to follow the meal plans that came with it. Very often I didn't feel satisfied, and I knew that already at that point, that following meal plans, was not the way for me to go. But still, I tried. I'm like, well, this will keep me focused on holidays and all of this kind of stuff. So I would try it. Then I would watch, there was always a Facebook group, so then I would watch all these other women be in there posting their befores and afters, and oh, I'm down this amount of weight, and oh, I've got 5 workouts in this week. No, now I have 6, and I'm going to do something every day. And I was never one to be working out every day, even during my weight loss time. 3 to 4 days a week is what I did for boot camp, and that was it. I had my rest days in between, and I was pretty strict with that. There were moments where I was working out 5 days a week, but even during the month of December, I wasn't doing that. So at any rate, I was watching in the group, so my motivation would wane after a week or 2. That kind of left me feeling not so great about myself because I didn't follow through on something that I said I was going to do. Second, I would still see all of these women posting, and then I started with this compare stuff. Well, they're doing it. Why can't I do it? What's wrong with me? And that worked on my self-esteem. So in that regard, the challenge wasn't good for me either. Interestingly enough, what I saw happen with many of the other women in these challenges that I would be a part of is they would be very gung-ho for, say, the 3, 4, 5, even 6 weeks. There were some. And they did great. They really did great. But then I think what happens very often is we get this mindset of, oh, I did this for 4 or 6 weeks and look at the results I got. So I'm just going to do it all again. And a lot of these women would start that same cycle again, follow the same workouts, the same meal plans that they were given as far as those challenges. And they would just be really hardcore about that. The problem is, after they stop doing that, either the initial 4 to 6 weeks or even times after that, I would see them gaining the weight back. These groups are open, and then these same women would be posting, oh, I'm having trouble, I'm not motivated, okay? So really what happens is I think these challenges, depending on what you enroll for, and if these challenges align with what you really want to be doing, they actually set you up for failure in the long term. They're actually like a diet. Diets tend to be hardcore and short-term in nature, which is what a lot of these challenges can be, hardcore and short-term. So yes, you will get results, but in that time during the challenge or the diet, you're not behaving in the way that you would for the long haul. So once you start behaving again in the way that you would for the long haul, your body is going to start putting back on what weight you may have lost or what have you. Our body wants to even out. It wants balance. So if you're really restricting and you're going hardcore and you weren't before, and then you kind of keep into that, you can end up going backwards and not creating the results for yourself you want, okay? But in the idea of these challenges, which is you are going to be seeing a lot of them right now with the health and fitness industry. Everybody's doing one, and this is what I have seen is women go hardcore. They're not operating in the way that they would for the long haul. And then when the challenge is done and they resume business as usual, sorry about that, they put the weight back on. All right. So to my point finally with this blog post today, I am advocating that you do not enroll in these challenges. If they don't align with what you have in mind for yourself. What works for you? What are you working on? All right. We get really, really sidetracked into this pressure and this anxiety with the holidays, thinking that we need to be losing weight. All right. I think December is the worst time you could possibly try to lose weight. Okay. If you're listening to me, you're probably in one of two camps. The first is you've made some changes for yourself and you have improved your health, changed some habits, changed how you eat, but you're wanting to graduate to the point where it's a little more automated. You don't have to stress about it. You're not calorie counting, you're not weighing yourself. You want to get away from that numbers game. Or you have been battling weight for a long time, just like I did, and are ready to make a change. And you're not currently working on your food, or you haven't started that yet. Okay? If you are in one of those two places, I don't think that December is the time for you to start something new. All right? First of all, it's super, super busy, okay? We are now adding shopping and wrapping and gatherings and holiday parties and more baking, decorating the house, travel. All of this stuff is now being added into December, and then we think it would be a good idea for us to add habit change. I disagree with that. I think it is not the right time for you to start something new. Okay, if you are have made health changes already, I would like to suggest that instead of trying to lose more weight, add more workouts in, that you stay status quo in December, that your focus is maintenance versus losing weight. Don't add more. Okay, maintenance is definitely a worthy goal, and I think you will be less stressed just floating through the season versus adding more. Okay? All right. So with these challenges, I will probably be the one and only health professional out there telling you to not do challenges this month. I do not want you hyper focused on your workouts. I do not want you hyper focused on your food. What I want you focused on is enjoying the holiday in all aspects and not just the food. All right. I tend to find myself, I'm the permission giver when I talk with my clients. A lot of times, the women who I work with, they already know what feels right for them. They already know what they want to be doing, but they're a little bit afraid to step away from the rules, the shoulds, the mainstream, what everyone else is doing. And so they just need someone to be the advocate in the corner for them and talk through some things and say, you know what? If you don't want to do that, or if you want to do this instead, it's okay. Go ahead and give it a try. So, knowing myself, knowing I tend to be rather contrary, I would say. I like to buck the system. I like to be unique. I don't really want to be with the mainstream, or I should say, I find myself not fitting with the mainstream. That's probably why you're here, because that resonates with you. And what I'm doing is I am giving you, right out there, permission to say, nope, no holiday challenge for me. Not gonna do it. Okay? Go with that. Go with that. There's no reason for you to jump on and make your holiday season more stressful and more hardcore than it already is. There is so much more that you can be doing in December with your energy and your time than funneling it into more rigid meal plans, more rigid workout schedules, less eating of this, less eating of that. You know, that is a big energy suck. And I know because I have been there. And I'm not advocating for you to go hog wild like I used to do and eat all the sweets in sight and eat everything at every holiday gathering and have all of the cocktails wherever you go. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you go into the holiday season with savoring and enjoying the season and learning how to moderate and say no to things, I think you will feel amazingly better. And I think that then what you eat and how you move won't be such a stressor. At least it doesn't have to be. It can be simply continuing on with what you have been doing for months now, and don't add more. December is not the time to be thinking about weight loss. And I don't say that because of the food. I say that in spite of the food. Again, I'll go back to that laundry list of things that I said. You're adding to your month in the next 4 weeks. You don't need to focus energy on more workouts and more rigid eating, okay? So I'm giving you permission. We're going to do, Head in the Game Fitness is going to do something called Chuck the Challenges and get your head in the season. So what I'm going to be doing over on my Facebook page is simply a Facebook Live every day of me showing you what I do as part of my season, my decorating, my hot chocolate bar in my kitchen, my baking, gingerbread houses with my girls, the things that I do here. So I want you, one, to see a little bit more of me, but also I want to show you that I am immersed in the season and the traditions and other things, and it's not all about food, okay? And I also want you to chuck the challenge. Let's be over here doing something different. So along with that on that Facebook Live is going to be a little bit about me and my holidays, but I'm also going to be giving you some health tips, things that you can do to get through the season with a little less stress. And this is not all just food and movement stuff. This is going to be like creating boundaries, saying no, enjoying the food, finding ways to make traditions and really savor those traditions, okay? What I do at Head in the Game Fitness is not all about weight loss. In fact, that's just a tiny piece of it. What I want for you is a healthy life, and I want you to feel good in your skin, feel good about who you are, and develop self-confidence. And part of that is learning to create boundaries and say yes to things that feel right, say no to things that don't, okay? So, for the month of December, starting on the 1st, and then I was going to go through the 24th, but I think we'll go through the 31st. So the whole month of December is going to be chuck the challenges. Do not get involved in those challenges. Now is not the time. We want you focused on other things, okay? So chuck the challenges, and then we're going to get our head in the season. Instead of head in the game, we're going to be head in the season, all right? So if you head over to my Facebook page, if you click on the light button and then you go down to the notifications section, make sure you hit on there, at least for the month of December. That way you'll know every time that I am going live on the Facebook page, so you can see what I'm talking about and hear the tip for the day. So no email education here, no big thing that you have to opt in for. It's simply going to be over on my Facebook page, and hopefully you will find that I'm giving you permission to say no to the challenges, that you can enjoy the season by doing other things, and how to stress a little less, okay? We're going to immerse ourselves in the season, not just the food and the movement. All right, thanks for listening, and we will see you over on Facebook in the next couple of days. Bye, everybody.